Well, right now we've got almost a half a dozen owners on, so we'll go around the horn to kind of get things going. And Tim, if you could, for Sasha, take a couple of minutes and tell them a little bit about yourself, where you are in your phase, if you're virtual or brick and mortar.
Yeah, yeah. So Tim Kane, Sasha, Columbus, Ohio. I signed up with Sign World back in December, but just parted ways from my corporate gig 3 weeks ago. So I'm 3 weeks into being full time. I'm a bricks and mortar guy. I'm actually in my facility. Just got in this week. There's
Congrats.
the furnace isn't working and it's 18 degrees, but everything else has been smooth, right? So, yeah, just getting going full time. The equipment is going to be here in 2 weeks, and so just learning everything as fast as I can.
Awesome.
Good, very good. Thanks, Tim. Greg Jones.
Yeah, what Tim said. The only thing I'll change is I signed on in September, but didn't really launch until December. So things are going very well. Virtual owner, doing well. A lot of the initial questions that everybody has. So still learning how to price right, how to approach it, and we just got off a estimates and proposals call, which was very helpful. So anyway, always looking to learn.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right, Paul. Good to see you. Good morning or good afternoon. Where you're in Florida, aren't you?
Yeah, so right now it's 12 o'clock, I would say.
That's right.
Good afternoon, maybe. So
Yeah.
hi. My name is Paul. I'm one member of four of our family. We've opened our sign shop. We are currently in the process of opening. We are brick and mortar. We signed a contract about 6 months ago. We came from Germany 4 months ago, or now 5 months ago even. And yeah, so we are in Cape Coral, Florida, Southwest Florida. Actually, we are getting our equipment delivered, and we're getting our first orders. So everything is new to us, and we are very interested to learn more about all of the sign industry.
Awesome.
Good. Very good. Thank you, Paul. Christina, how are you? Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Hi, Sasha. I'm Christina Kay. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I should launch sometime next month.
Awesome.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Very good. Dewey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dewey. I'm in southwestern Indiana, and I'm a virtual owner. I signed with SignWorld in September, and I've really started, reaching out to customers in the following month, but things didn't really start picking up until January-ish. So, thanks.
Very good.
Okay. Thanks, Dewey. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. I get to see Tony next week in technical training, so you're going to be stuck with me for a whole day, but we're going to get through it. We're gonna have some fun. So tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm in LA, California. Signed on with Sign World earlier this year, hoping to launch sometime in April.
Okay, very good.
Virtual owner as well. Yeah.
Virtual owner. Okay, good. Christian,
How are you?
good to see you.
Chris White, Redheaded Signs, out of Chicago. Month and a half in of taking over the world and, taking on every job we can get and until I can sell the company for $50 million. So a couple more months and I should be good.
Good for you. I like lofty goals. That's terrific. And Brett, if you come off of mute, say hi, a little bit about yourself, where you're at.
Hi, I'm Brett Heinle with Cincinnati Custom Signs. We're going on our 11th year. I have been the lead estimator at our company for 6 to 7 years, and this is just kind of some extra little training for us.
Good. Congratulations. Yeah. That's wonderful. Glad you're on board today.
Yeah. If you guys need any information or anything, sub this conversation, feel free to join the Discord that I started years ago with Sign World. We are active on there. I build software and stuff like that for the industry currently, and we're a wealth of knowledge on there. So
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Very good. Very good. Okay, without further ado, Sasha is here in the San Diego area. I think you started in 2019, 2019. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like November of 2019.
Yeah.
We opened, I think,
Lighthouse sign company. All right. Tell us a little about you, your company, the size, any information you want to share.
Yeah, my name is Sasha. So I originally from Moscow, Russia, moved to the States when I was 17, came here to learn English, and ended up going to college here in San Diego, graduated, and had a degree in finance and business administration, worked in software for about 7 years as a data analyst, and then my dad moved to San Diego from Russia, and we decided to start a company together. And then we found Sign World. And what we loved about it, it was kind of complementary. We decided I'll be in charge of business development, and on his end, he is a pretty handy guy. So he just after a few meetings with Sign World, he really enjoyed the hardware part. And yeah, and we started in 2019 November, right pre-COVID. So that was a little bit of a wild ride in the beginning, but by that time, we landed a couple of good clients, and the biggest one was the multifamily. So this is the one I'm gonna talk about today. And yeah, let's see. What else should I mention, George? Yeah,
No.
we are a total of 7 people now. We started with the original SignWorld package, HP 365, laminator, and a plotter, and it was a perfect starter package for us. Next equipment we added was industrial laser machine, 150 watt, so we could start acrylic, cutting acrylic. That was kind of like the bread and butter for us. And I'll talk about it, kind of how we decided because of, again, multifamily jobs. Yeah.
And then so other equipment too that you've added as well.
Oh, yeah. And in 2025, I decided to scale the company and start making channel letters, illuminated signs. So we got our UL certification in 25, and we started in 1,600 square feet. I reached out to a landlord, and the space opened up right next to us, and so we leased that space, which was another 1,600 square feet. So we're at about 3,200 square feet. We're doing about $1 million a year. So first year we did about 400, second 600, third year was 1.2 million, so we doubled. And then we've been pretty much averaging around a million, a little bit over. And for 2026, it's a bit of a hefty goal, but would love to hit anywhere between 1.6 to $2 million. So having a couple of repeat customers. And so we added a CNC routing machine, multicam, channel bender, SDS automation. Both are really good equipment and been great to us. Now we're pushing a year, no issues. Hired a CNC machinist who is also running our channel bender, and he can fabricate signs as well. So really good guy. His name is Julian. So it's been a great hire. And we recently added part-time just a sign fabricator. He's been fabricating, making channel letters for 20 years by hand. So just very, very talented man. And so we started off part-time right now, and you know, as we grow, agreement was so we'll get him full-time, and so far it's looking good. So right now, last few weeks has been pushing 40 hours.
Good.
So
Great.
Yeah.
Very great. Now, and I do want to comment too, if anybody has any questions as we go through this, don't hesitate to either raise your hand or speak up, because I want it as interactive as we possibly can. Any questions for Sasha before we begin? Anybody at all? Okay. Go ahead. Take it away. It's all you.
Awesome. And how many of you are on Corebridge for your coding software? Okay. So we use Corebridge, and my presentation is going to be pretty much live. I'm going to be showing you like all the details, how I priced my margins, how it got calculated, like the back end stuff. And
Okay.
like George said, please ask me any questions you have. Before I get into multifamily, George, I want to talk about I landed this one project, and you were on my mind because about 6 years ago, when I was my first Sign World conference, you talked about you made a presentation on pricing, and you talked about never leave money on the table and take on projects that you feel good about making money, even though they're difficult. And I want to spend about hopefully 5 minutes, won't take too much time on this one project we landed. How do I share my screen? Oh, there it is. Share.
And Brett asked real quick, are you in version 3 of Core Bridge at all?
Oh, no, I am, like the original one. So I don't know what version is this. Not the one that
Okay.
they
The
talked about.
initial, okay, the
Yeah, I'm in
initial
the
one that
original
they
one. Yeah.
released. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Okay, let me start right here.
So you're on the good one, Brett says. Yeah. We've been hearing a lot about that lately too.
Um, okay, let me start with the site survey photos first. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Awesome. So this is a site survey photo. So this is a backlit cabinet sign. Looks pretty nice from photos. It's an airspace company reached out to us and said, hey, our sign is not lighting up. Can you guys come out and take a look at it? Sure. So we went over, checked it out, and we started seeing immediately issues. So this sign was not built in accordance with UL compliance. So the returns are made out of wood, and it's attached to this very nice wallpaper. So right there, we start seeing a lot of potential issues. The request was to fix the sign. We're not sure what would happen once we start removing the sign, and right there were red flags all over this. The sign was not lighting up. From far, it looks really nice, but a lot of exposed wiring. They couldn't give us any production proofs, any information that we could use to make a kind of educated guess, hopefully, how we're going to fix this. And we had a production meeting with the team, and we decided that we were not going to try to fix this sign. We're just going to make a proposal for a brand new sign. Also keeping in mind that we have to rip this thing off the wall. And that is a lot of unknown. And I'm sure I see George smiling.
Mhm.
A lot of owners gone through this. You just take on a job and you think you know, and you just don't know. And I've worked with some Sign World owners who've been doing this for 20, 30 years, and they're still telling me, hey, Sasha, 20 years later, I'm still learning. And
Right.
that voice is always in my head. So my approach about pricing and just in general of taking this project, being okay walking away. But before you walk away, know your worth, know your value. If you truly care, you should get compensated accordingly for this job. So I went to my designer and I said, hey, we've got the situation. I want to propose just a brand new cabinet sign, and now we can build it in-house. So that was also the exciting part for me. So we worked on the production proof, and I'm going to show that to you. Can you see it?
We can still see the one that has the
Okay.
wire
Sure.
nuts at the top.
No
Yeah.
problem. Share.
Maybe you click one of the ones down below and
Uh,
bring it over for you.
oh, there it is. Okay, very good. Slowly getting hang of this.
There you go.
So let me they were going through rebrandings, and then later they said, hey, we actually kind of want to change the logo as well. Because what they were requesting, this is the new logo, and this is the old one. And so we proposed 4x10 cabinet side, internally illuminated, build it according UL standards. And let's see the second page. So I'm just kind of relax showing how we're building it. We'll be running LEDs. And then time came to price it accordingly. So let me go to Core Bridge here
And some of the questions that owners have too, Sasha, is how did you choose the materials and the fabrication of the particular project? What brought you to that point to decide that?
So well, like I said, it was just not built. Their old sign was not built, so we had to build according to UL standards. So the backer had to be ACM. The enclosure had to build out of aluminum and well, running LEDs inside. But
Right.
I had to pull in. I don't have as much of a knowledge in terms of how to build these, so I always like getting involved. My production people, installers.
Mhm.
I the the projects that are very important, I get everyone involved. I pull a meeting, I get the installer involved, I get the production guy involved, I get the designer involved, and everyone, hey, this meeting is for a full hour. Let's talk about it. Everyone kind of throw your opinions and how we're going to go about this.
Yeah.
And decision we came to that, hey, we're going to take a risk. We're going to rip that sign off and we'll make a proposal that, hey, we're not going to take on this job to fix this. If you're interested in working with us, then it has to be a brand new sign, and we'll handle the removal, we'll handle the disposal of the sign, we'll handle manufacturing and installation. And I was ready. I was like, here's the design and here's the price. Please let me know if you're still interested. And
Yeah.
this was, we pushed it almost to $18,500. So how did I come up with this price? You can see right here, removal, sign, and dispose. Typically, we would charge about $500 to $600. In this case, like I mentioned earlier, we're dealing with a very nice wallpaper. I don't know who attached it, how they attached it. So I pretty much doubled at that point. Installation, for something like this, I would be charging about $1,600. So I put an extra $1,200 premium on that. And then finally, the illuminated sign itself. Oh, come on.
Was the existing sign the same size, or did you make it just a little bit bigger to cover any damage that might be around the edge of the?
Oh, George, have you been doing this for a while?
Sorry,
Okay.
just thinking. I don't know.
All right. So then George got me here. Yeah, so we kind of got lucky here. George, so the sign face is 4 feet by 10 feet. Here, there's an inset, and it was about 38 inches. So we were kind of lucky. We're like, hey, if we rip this thing off, and if there's slight damage to wallpaper, that's
Yeah.
okay, because we're going to build it correctly, and it's going to be perfectly flush return, and it's going to cover it. So it was exactly 4 by 10. And it was, or another cool thing about this project that we kind of got lucky. So it was going right above the roof line here. So we
Oh,
were
good.
able to actually get all the wiring out and put a proper J box and do the all wiring in here, and then put a switch and there you go. So the sign was illuminated. The customer was very, very happy. So
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
just go back to Corbridge.
Well thought through.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, thank you. Let's see.
Looks like a different project. While you're looking to go through that, I'll just make a couple of comments. What's important to understand too is that as you're building your cost of a particular project, you're adding all of the elements to it. Sasha broke out the removal as well as the installation, so they understand what is going to be happening with just not combine everything all together. As you mentioned, usually what the cost would be $600 to go ahead and remove something, but the concern is that we're going to run into some other problems we're not aware of. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Now, some owners might take this and say, okay, it's only going to take us a couple of hours. And if we have a $195 an hour rate, $400 should be fine. But other owners now are moving to a greater level where they'll just say, okay, if it's 2 hours, I'm going to charge for half a day. If it's 5 hours, I'm going to charge for a full day. And that way you're covered because travel time, maybe something was forgotten back at the shop. You got to go back and get the cordless drill, and that never happens. But all those things come into play. So always go ahead and add a little bit more onto each one of the things you're going to go ahead and handle in any way, shape, or form. So anyway, go ahead, Sasha. I'll let you get into the pricing of how you came up with it.
Notice I also don't have site survey here. So it's still day one when I opened my shop. I had all the time in the world. So I get a call and I'll just run, and I would never charge for a site survey. Today we charge for site surveys. However, I still keep it a kind of hybrid version. If we're a little bit slow and I have the time, we just go out there and we take care of it. So in this case, I didn't charge a site survey. However, as you grow, your time becomes more valuable. Most of the time we do. So what I love about Corebridge is that we're on they call it cost plus. So it will calculate all my cost, and then it'll tell me, hey, Sasha, in order for you to operate your business profitably, you need to be anywhere on gross margin from 56% to 77%. So that's your kind of the sweet spot. Obviously, I would always want to push towards on the higher end. So right here, you see my cost. And then you can calculate the profit on this job. So, and then I'll just kind of quickly go through the details, how we go about it. So it took 4x10 aluminum sheet. So this went through the CNC routing machine. It calculated the cost of the material and cost of the machine and time. Same thing for ACM backer and so on. The biggest driver of the cost was production. So again, even for the sign, we put a pretty like a good premium on this. And I think if it was just under normal circumstances, maybe in terms of production, we end up spending full week on making the sign, so about 40 to 50 hours. And we went, so we're at $100 an hour. So we went close, pushed it almost double in it to 100 hours. And no, when this is an aerospace engineering company, and they know that obviously they have money, but beyond that, these type of customers, they generally demand excellence and quality. And going back to saying, knowing your worth, if you know that you're going to go above and beyond for this sign and you want to build high quality signs, make sure you compensate accordingly for this. And also, as I said before, being okay walking away from a project. So at this point, when I submitted my bid with the production proof that I showed you, and then this proposal, then the response was pretty much immediate. When can you guys get it done? And
Nice.
and I was, jumping because I was very happy to take on this project, knowing that I'm gonna go above and beyond because I have a very high incentives, and customer wants a high quality sign, and I was confident in my team that we could get it done, and they were very, very happy. So completion photo.
Now, when you have a project like this and you've done all your estimating of materials and your costs and your markup,
Mhm.
how many jobs do you go back to and check to see if you hit the number? Because in some cases, when we build a sign, we make a mistake. We cut the material to the wrong size. We got to cut more material. What do you go? How do you go about measuring that?
About like how often do I need to go back and actually like fix up a few things, or
Yeah.
Okay. Not very often. I would say probably 5%.
Okay.
I
So
would interject there with Sasha as well. We don't go back very often because most of the time the mistakes are not mistakes that you can avoid. They're just daily mistakes.
Just human error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, measurement error, things like that, they're gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And it sounds like even up front, with you pulling your team together, you're going to have a lot of accurate information to begin with. This installation should take us about 2 hours. In this particular case, it took us 3. Okay, when I estimate something like this in the future, I might add another hour onto that and make it 4 now. But that's the only reason I like to loop around and go back and say, okay, how are we doing to make sure that our assumptions are true and real.
As an
Yeah.
estimator, I bring in my installers and I fabricate as well as I used to install. And so I still bring them in. Like, hey,
Very
what do you
nice.
guys think?
Yep.
It's very important because as somebody is a desk jockey now, you lose a lot of that. Equipment failures that you don't even know about are causing delays, and they can be like, hey,
Right.
this is making everything take 10 minutes longer a day, and it stacks up.
Right.
So being in
Because
constant communication with the people actually doing the work that you're giving them is very important.
Yep.
And individuals install at different speeds. Remember that, guys. That's a huge thing. You have
Correct.
to quote based off of what your team does, or you eat the costs. Typically, you're paying higher dollar value for the guy that can go faster. So you gotta kind of consider all those little things.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Brett with what you said. My installer, he's incredible. He's been with me about 3 years, and when I hired him, I asked him, if when you join our team, what one thing would you change? And he said that at his previous companies, he would learn about his job the night before. That would give him a packet, or sometimes the morning off, and be like, here you go, this is what you're installing today. And he'd show up at the installation site, and project managers see the project from one lens,
Right.
production see it from a different lens, and at the end, it's the installer who does the final touch. So I couldn't understand why I would not involve the installer from the beginning of the project, and that minimized our mistakes going back and fixing things because everyone was involved. And then if the 5% of the time that we do have these slight failures, um, we just have a meeting about it. Okay, what went right and what went wrong. There's some things where we did everything right, but just sometimes customers just was not happy with the result because maybe there was a communication issue they were expecting. Yesterday we took on a job to wrap this enclosure, and it had a lot of curves. And I said we could do it because it's an old customer, and we've worked with them before, and they were very nice. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll take on this. I normally don't, and we did it. And they were not happy with the results and we had to own up to it and say, yep. They just told us we couldn't present it to our customer. So at this point, we just had a quick meeting, like, okay, I don't think anyone did anything wrong here. It's just I had to take responsibility also for taking a job that we normally don't do. And team said, yeah, we could do it, but it was just not up to their standards. And I just had to own it and say, hey, you know what? How do I make it right? And said, let's paint it. We're okay with not wrapping it. I'm like, yeah, we can paint it for you. So, and we're just moving on. They're happy. We're good. Okay. So let's move on to the multifamily. So this client was my pre-COVID client that I landed, and then right when kind of things starts slowing down with COVID, he reached out and said, "Hey, Sasha, we've got a property in Austin, Texas, and then another one in Portland. So the one I'm going to talk about is the one in San Antonio. So I ended up doing close to probably 30 apartment complexes around America with him. So this one is in San Antonio, Texas. I want to kind of go quickly through the proof so you kind of understand what was the scope of work. This one is a full sign package. So that means monument sign, unit IDs, pool signs, pretty much everything. If there's a sign on the property, we're redoing this. Their business model was, so in this case, I was working with the GC. Now, GC is not the money guys. The private equity firm was the money people. So sometimes they will hire PE will hire GC, and then they'll have the GC handle pretty much everything, including the sign package. So that was my case. Now at this point, I've worked probably with I want to say 7 to 10 different clients doing the exact same projects, but they're different. In those cases, it's not the GC, it's the actual the private equity firm. So they raise capital, and then they buy apartment complexes that are typically a little bit run down and needs new paint and so on, rebranding. So this one we did in San Antonio, Texas. Typically will look something like this. We create like little branding guidelines for them, color palettes. So this one, there was already an existing very nice monument sign. So I generally like to be transparent with customers. Obviously, I want to increase my my sales as much as I can, but I also want to be mindful. In this case, I called Chris. It's like, hey, Chris, I'm looking at a very beautiful monument sign, and I don't think we need to demo this thing. I think we can just get away by removing this, the renew letters, and then we'll just rebrand it with Summit. All we'll have to do is put a nice backer plate. We'll custom paint it to branding colors, because once we remove the renew, there'll be holes from the previous pins. And he just loved it. And then we repaint the returns. So, and I'll talk about the price of this. On this guy, I worked with one of the Sign World owners. He's out of Austin, Texas, Kevin Hall, Texas Custom Signs, and we've done a lot of projects together in Texas area. So he helped me out quite a bit. That's another just power of Sign World, having other Sign World owner who has your back. Because at that time, like I said, it was my first $100,000 contract, my 4th month in business, and I did not really know what I was doing. So having the experienced Sign World owner step in and kind of hold your hand and guide you through the process, it was just priceless. So unit IDs, in this case, 400 unit IDs we worked on. And same thing, existing unit IDs, they need to be removed and then replaced with new ones. I'll try to go quickly on this, George, and feel free to stop me if
you're doing fine. You're
Okay.
doing fine.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
done. Okay,
Yep. You're good on time. Yep.
awesome. So break it up based on buildings, so there's no confusion. We try to make our proofs as clear as possible, because once you're on site, it's the installer, so he needs to understand his, instead of standing there figuring things out where he goes where, we try to make it so he gets there and he knows exactly what he needs to do. Here's the building ID. And this is the existing sign, and this is the new sign.
And one of the things that, as you're going through these too, is you'll notice the detail that's in these drawings, these shop drawings, or the submittal package, if you will. And never assume anything for your customer to kind of fill in the blank, but providing these details of what materials are going to be used, the size. I think a really good part of this is you're showing what the old sign looks like and what the new sign will look like, and that adds quite a bit to the client to let them understand exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, quick chime in as well. I saw those ADA signs.
Yeah.
You know, if you can show them exactly where you're going to mount them ahead of time, I think it helps. I just got bit in the ass this week installing ADA signs, and then the landlord coming back and saying, "Hey, I thought we were going to put them over here." So I had to fix a couple signs, but it was time wasted. And if it was at a customer shop or something, I had to drive an hour and a half away, I would have had to eat all of that. So luckily, it was in my building.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, you're absolutely right.
Typically, though, I'll chime in on that. Typically, we don't give an option of where to install them. At least here in Ohio, I don't know if the ADA's regulations are a little bit different, but you have to follow standards in an order per fire code and per ADA code. So it has to be here. If it physically can't be here, then it has to be here. If it physically can't be here, then you can move it to a closest location.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Oftentimes you don't have a choice of where you install ADA signs. It's on the handle side at 50 inches to the bottom, etc., unless it's not accessible.
Right. The strike side.
Yeah,
And,
appreciate
and
that. It wasn't an 80.
yeah, in our shop drawings too, we'll actually show a floor plan and where each sign will go. And before we even go into production to build the signs, we'll also provide they'll give us a signed off copy saying yes, the names of those doors are what you have on the plan, and it's great for your installer too. So we'd have a side view of where what the typical door looks like, the strike side, the elevation,
Yeah,
the spacing
perfect.
between the door side and where the actual sign
Yeah.
will be mounted. And
Now, when George says where each sign goes, that's a example of each sign, and then it shows all the signs in a big list, not
right,
actually where each sign goes. There's a difference.
right,
um,
exactly right.
because sometimes you guys, when you get into these large multifamilies, you have to limit your artwork and make it easy. You have to get your designers onto a there's ways to do duplicate copies of items on stuff, because I mean, I quote jobs like this all the time that are upwards of 300 units plus all of the facilities stuff. So you're at, 4
Multiple
to
pages. Yeah,
600 signs.
yeah,
So if you guys are going to quote these, learn how to use the Illustrator built-in stuff or Flexi Signs or whatever you've got. They've got plugins and tools to do big duplicates of stuff, like he just showed there on the screen, where you just type in a list of numbers or copy and paste a list of numbers, and it will autofill all those numbers in. Use the tools; they're great.
Yeah.
yeah,
And don't be scared of ADA either. You're going to start getting into architectural drawings. You're like, oh my goodness, this is hard to read. Don't be scared of
yeah.
it. It is
No,
hard to read, but if you ignore all the numbers in there, we don't need it. All we need to know is that there's a door there and that there's a unit there, and that you need a sign there. It gets overwhelming when you start getting into it. I talk to people all the time that's just like, they're like, I don't know what to do with this thing. It looks crazy. I'm like, you scroll through, look for the signs, ignore everything else.
yeah,
Take screenshots where you think a sign needs to go and put it in a folder so you never have to look at the architectural drawing again. Yeah, it definitely helps to have a big screen and a monitor and stuff like that. But you guys can get into it pretty easily. And I can contest, I've got an email inbox full of architectural bids, big construction companies messaging me, probably average of 5 to 10 times every week for a new project in Cincinnati. There are infinite number of construction jobs that you can do, and I'm sure Sasha and George can contest that. Don't be scared of them. Learn how to do them, and you guys can make the margins aren't as good, but the profits there, and the work for ADA especially is the easiest work in the sign industry.
yeah. Start small.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start with a small little project, right,
Get a
Sasha?
school or something.
Yeah, Brett nailed it. There's so much business out there. I remember before signing, I was just constantly worried about my competition, and then slowly you realize, kind of just concentrate on yourself, on your business, and yeah, and then just start learning. Don't be scared of all these. They look intimidating, all these drawings, but if start looking at the things that you need to find. Don't worry about everything else. And speaking of margins, so we kind of got lucky here with Texas and this particular client. For some reason, all of these signs they did not need to be ADA compliant. So this was acrylic backer with digital print on it. So this is, like I said, I think this is maybe, let's say, fifth or sixth month in. First job, I outsourced the acrylic with digital print. Next one, we realized we can just cut it on a laser machine. CNC router was probably about 120, 130,000. I couldn't afford it at that time, but industrial laser machine was about $20,000, and fit our budget. And I realized with one job with 400 units, it pretty much paid itself off. So I could cut my acrylic in-house, and we had our HP 365. Now, was it apply it all efficiently? No, because we had to print it, we had to trim every unit vinyl and then apply by hand. Why did we do it? Because we had all the time in the world. It was my dad, we need production, and we start kind of like slowly filling up. Now, I'll go through Corbridge and I'll share the pricings on this, but our margins were much higher once we increased our in-house productions. And I had to kind of pick my battles where anything was monument sign related. I had to go through Texas Custom Signs, and then anything that I could do in-house, these panel signs, FDC, pool rules. So I'll just go quickly through these. So all of this was done in-house, that pretty much whoever is here, this brick and mortar, can do it in-house. Now, I want to also talk about site survey. In the beginning, I would reach out to a local sign world owner or any sign company if the sign world owner weren't available in that city, and then send them out. And then I'll get a site survey, and they were generally like, they were good. They weren't great, but they were good. But what was not making it great is because I don't know the property. And I would typically pay about anywhere from $450 to like $650 because they knew it's a whole day thing. You have to go and walk the property.
Right.
So after a few properties, I just called my customer and said, "Hey, Chris, I would love to do these site surveys myself. Moving forward, I'm going to bump up the site survey price by only a couple $100, but I promise you the quality of work will improve. Is that okay with you?" Sasha, that is absolutely okay with me. Okay, so now Chris gives me a heads up. Hey, Sasha, I got two more properties coming up. One is in San Antonio, one is in Austin. We're probably going to close the deal in the next 30 days. So you've got 30 days to go and do a site survey. Awesome, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm buying a ticket. I allocate 2 days. Day one, walk the property. Day two, I have my laptop, and I have like a second screen, mini screen, just size of a laptop. I go to a coffee shop and I start plugging in all the numbers into Corebridge. And I assume my bid is due the next day. So meaning while I'm in Texas, I'm working on my bid, thinking Chris wants that bid the next day. So why do I allocate 2 days? Day one, I walk, do all my measurements, take all the pictures. Day two, I'll plug it in. And guess what? It's a giant property, and I probably missed a few things. As I'm plugging into Corebridge and working on my bid, I start finding things that I missed. No problem. I'm still in Texas. So I take all the notes, I go back to the property, figure out what I missed, go back to the coffee shop, finalize it. And at that point, my bid is pretty much 90-95% is done. The only part that would take longer is the monument sign. So we have to actually, do the proof and then have to send it out to whoever to get the bid. But at that point, I'm way ahead of the schedule.
What do you use to take your notes and pictures and stuff?
Okay. So I
This is a
recently
big one for us, so.
Awesome. So I recently discovered this measuring app that my installer showed me, and I've used it and I love it. But I have a very old school way of doing these site survey that work really well for me. And it's not going to be, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and it's not going to look pretty, and you're going to probably think I'm crazy, but here we go. Let me.
We had a bit of a I saw this picture earlier. We had a bit of a game changer when we discovered Company Cam. Company Cam. Yep.
Okay.
It's a monthly subscription, so it does cost money, but when you sign up, you have a minimum of 3 users that you have to sign up for to get I think an annual billing plan or something like that. So we actually share accounts. We cheat the system and share accounts, and it's costs real money. I mean, it's like a little bit over $100 a month for the 3 users. I want to say they're like 30 something bucks a person.
Okay.
But there's measuring tools in there that you can mark your pictures as you take them. You can't. It probably halved our site survey time.
Because of the record that you're keeping as you're taking the pictures it's already been saved. Right.
It's absolutely, it was a game changer for us. We started on it probably about 2-3 years ago. We were doing very similar to what you have. We've got paper forms that we fill out as well. But now Company Cam has especially for large project stuff.
Mhm.
It has easily, for especially for large multifamily, when I do walkarounds, it easily halves the time that I'm there.
Company, I'll
It's
check it
and then
out.
it's
Thank you.
There's,
a lot
I'm sorry.
easier for our designers to process afterwards because they can download the picture with my markings on it,
Mhm.
and they can download the original picture without markings using the same tool. It's very interesting to use. If you guys haven't tried it, they've got free trial. I would check it out. They've got AI functions where you can walk through and video and take screenshots while you're videoing and talk, and it translates everything that you're talking about, creates a bullet point list of different information that you're talking about while you're walking through. I mean, I literally have a guy on site using it right now at an apartment building that we've got. So
And one of the nice tools too is that uh, have your installer use it and take pictures of the finished product, and
yep,
that way, when your client comes back and says, "Hey, we're missing a sign or this one was wrong," you have records of it without having to jump in your car and drive back to the location.
yeah, and they
Um,
allow multi login at the exact same time.
right, right.
Hopefully, they never patch that. But I've got an installer user, I've got a salesperson user, and I've got designer users, and that's how we do it.
Yeah,
One other thing I like doing, once I'm done with the site survey, I jump into my car or rental car, and you can obviously bring a GoPro. I'll hold my camera and I drive very slowly around the whole property.
wow,
Videos will catch things that pictures will never catch. And I just kind of slowly drive and I try to capture everything in the property. If I miss, and I got to San Diego and I still miss something, I just go slowly through the videos and I'm like, oh, there's another
Yeah.
parking sign I missed, and I'll just count as I'm there.
Yep. Before
But
I
yeah,
leave, to note on that, oftentimes GCs miss stuff themselves.
hmm,
They want the extra money. So if you go, hey, have you considered replacing all your parking signs or the stop sign at the road and all this stuff? It's a few hundred extra bucks in your pocket, and it's 400 extra bucks in their pocket
right,
that they can tack onto everything. And they miss stuff probably 90% of the jobs that we do. And they want that extra stuff on their bill because they charge probably triple what you're charging because the client also missed it when they were doing all their stuff. The architect missed it, a bunch of stuff. It's very worthwhile taking those videos or just taking pictures of everything. I will walk down a hallway, and in a 200-foot hallway, I'll take over 50 pictures.
yeah.
And then I can go through them and I can look, hey, this one's different or this one's different. And then I can give them to my installer, or I take the video, like he was saying, around the property. And it is beyond helpful when you don't think it's going to be.
yeah, absolutely. And that's where, Brett, when earlier on I was hiring local companies to do site survey, I remember asking for videos, but they send their installer and they do however they do it. And so it's kind of hard to, through multiple people, communicate what you want, even though
Right.
you communicate it. So, and that's kind of the conclusion came out to, like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite a bullet and buy the ticket, go out there, rent the hotel for a night, and take care
Oh
of
yeah,
it myself.
worth it
And
sometimes.
it's
Yep.
very, very much so.
If you guys
So
need anything, let me know. I got to get going. I've got that Discord group on there.
Thanks,
Join
Brett.
it if
Thanks
you
for
guys
being on
haven't.
today.
Yeah, we've
thank you.
got probably 50 active people in that Discord group that know what they're doing. So thanks, guys.
Oh,
Very
thank you.
good. And one other
Um,
thing too, to make a comment on the company cam, is in some cases you'll have an outside sign company ask you to do an install for them, and so you're going to a building that somebody else may have done the site survey on, and you get a whole bunch of signs, and you got to figure out where they're going to go. You need to charge for that, and along with that, if you have that particular system in place, you can take all the pictures of the finished signs, and you can charge them for every sign picture that you take. So it could be $1 a sign, could be $2 a sign, whatever it might be, but it's valuable for them to have that proof that you did that kind of work and what it looks like when it was finished. It was level in the right location. It's worth every bit of the cost that you might incur.
Absolutely. And back to the site survey, I know it kind of looks, just complicated then, but the site surveys, just kind of like Brett was talking about, you look at the construction drawings and they look intimidating. You walk into a property that has over 400 units, it looks intimidating, but it's kind of always going to basics. I'll just literally pick my starting point and I just walk, bring comfortable shoes, paper, pen in my case, and okay, building sign number one. how many. There's 3 of them. So I just mark it off and I take a picture. So they're all in sequence with my photos once I upload it. And I just go from the top to bottom. And that's it. So I know we have about 10 minutes. I want to
10 minutes, yes.
show my core bridge. So let me switch. So peak renovations. So as you see, the total price, they were allocating, I think, about 40,000 for this unit budget, and we just couldn't do it. So it was pushing towards 60, and this was probably the 10th property we were doing with them. I offered a $3,000 discount just because, and they were very grateful. So you got the site.
How did you pick a $3,000 discount?
That's a good question. I don't remember right now. I think okay. The CEO just called me and said, "Hey, I'm over budget on this one. There's a couple other things I'm over budget. It was, I don't know, let's say plumbing and he's like, I have a very good relationship with him. We're very honest with each other. He's like, Sasha, I'm literally right now calling every vendor and I'm trying to get every little discount I can so I can just don't lose my ass on this job."
Right.
And I said, okay, I don't know. At that time, I just 3,000 was like, I was like, I can give you $3,000 discount. How's it sound? And he's like, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. And I don't remember right now exactly how it came up with that number, but if I had to guess, it was just more of a kind of number I picked. Yeah.
Yeah, you just threw a dart at the wall and it said 3, so I'll give you 3. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Now one thing at that time, design fees, this is production proofs. This is the time I would spend. Later, I was talking to Jack Warner about multifamilies, and he made a good point. He's like, that's great. You made all this money. So how many hours did you spend on managing this project?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, well, try to calculate next time and make sure you compensate for it, get compensated for it.
Right.
So now, so this client is coming back. We just did we're actually right now doing a property in New Braunfels. It's outside of Austin. And now what I do, this number is $5,000.
Okay.
And $3,000 is, and I write it, design fee and PM, project management. So, and now I just track it and they were fine. They didn't push back. And monument sign, let me actually do this so you can see all my numbers.
Yeah, we would take it, Sasha, and we'd say submittal package, which is your design fee, if you will. Signed submittals if they needed any submittal samples, right? And then project management. And that was all one line item. And Jack is right. You want to go ahead and say, okay, I think it's going to take us about 10 hours to go ahead and do this entire package. And that might include some changes that are going to be made to it because it's maybe not always perfect the first time, but to have extra in there for your time. You're absolutely right.
And it was kind of like the trial and error, right? So you just kind of slowly. So monument sign was taken care of by Texas Custom Signs. They charged me, so you can see my cost. This is vended. So Kevin charged me about $2,000. I charged the customer, doubled it, so it's 50% margin. Same with installation. So and again, like I said, this was my 10th property. When my first property, they were not doubling. I was very conservative with my markups. And later on, it's kind of slowly you build the confidence and you kind of start knowing what you're doing. And then you want to, how many hours you're spending and you start getting compensated accordingly for this. So this is what I was talking about. One thing that stuck with me during training Sign World, Jack Warner said, generally it's a normal response to concentrate only on sales. You just, in the beginning, you just want to sales, sales, sales. Later, you start counting your profit margins. And why we're doing this is we're doing this to make money. Sales are nice, but margins are more important. And that just stuck with me because I was like, well, I'm here to make money. So I want to concentrate on margins. So I was doing both, obviously, sales, but I don't know, it just Jack's advice just stuck with me. And I immediately started researching on, like I said, I got the industrial laser machine. So all of this, I was cutting acrylic all in-house, made a big difference. So this is 4,500. That's everything, vinyl, acrylic, labor, installation. So immediately now we're pushing at 74% gross margin. And same thing for everything else, building panel signs, FTC, all the stuff that I just walked through the uh, oh, that's one thing that I didn't mark up as much later is the installation. So most of this money went to Tex Custom Sign for their work. And I just did minimal markup just in case if Kevin calls me and says, hey, we're having issues here and it's gonna take longer time. And I just did not want to bother my customer for a few $100, and I was okay with eating that cost myself, and not making as much money on installation. So this is kind of, as you see, it's about 16% margin. It's not a lot of money. Again, the objective was here just to more like not to lose money as opposed to making money. If I made a little bit of money, great. If not, that's fine too. So then, yeah, we did a billboard. But anyways, let's see, get to total cost. It was about 24, and then margin at about 54%. Obviously, big
55%.
55%, yeah.
Right.
And obviously, a big part of it was installation, which takes down my margin.
Right.
But again,
Right.
I didn't do the work. That is very important to remember. I think his guys were there for like 4 days, doing all the unit IDs and all of that. So very time consuming process. While they're doing it, I'm concentrating on other things. So
Were they removing signs too, Sasha?
okay, yeah. So great question. On they were, you can go a couple ways with this. Unit IDs, in this case, they were removing them. Why? Because with this customer, they were okay, George, with both. They'll say,
Yep.
hey, Sasha, well, I would tell them this way. I can place the, let's say, unit ID sign over the existing one, and you're going to save money on removal and installation. So, but you have to be okay knowing that there's a sign going on top of a sign. So this would be actually a good example, even though it's a carport sign. So
Yep.
I would make it, if it's a 4 inches by 6 inches, I would make it like 4.5 by 6.5, and then
Sure.
VHB silicone, and we're done. So installation will be really fast as opposed to removing it. In this
Yeah.
case, oh, there you go. So these unit IDs, they were very bulky. This is stone. You're not going to believe it, like a rock. So, and and it was a very nice, it was a very nice apartment complex, and they said, hey, we're willing to pay. We don't want this, just make it a little bit bigger. But if the paint comes off, so we can cover it. If it goes off more, we'll do touch-up paint. Also, it was very important to discuss prior, because if it just keeps ripping, that's the nature of whoever installed this.
Yeah.
Kevin's guys struggled removing this. It took him a while. But I'm again very upfront. If you want to save money on installation, and we can just put right over it really fast, bit of a silicone VHB, and we call it a day. Your installation will be, let's say if I'm allocating, instead of 20 minutes per ADA sign, I'll say maybe it's 10 minutes. Then at that point, I'll let them decide which route they want to go to. But in this case, we had to remove it and install on top of it.
For that area. Now, with your pricing, do you ever look at it, and even though you've already built it into the system, it gives you the margins you're looking at, do you look at that sometimes and think that I could go ahead and up the price a little bit more, even though I'm hitting my margins because of the value of the project itself or the value of the signs themselves? Or do you just let the system dictate your pricing for you?
No, it's the first one. So for instance, the one that we're working on right now in San Antonio, Texas, it's the same customer. It's just they started a new private equity firm, And in this case, they here, George, I'll show you.
We
So
have just a little bit of time left too, in case
okay, yeah.
if
So
someone has any
I'll be quick.
questions.
Installation and removal. I calculated it about at 10,000 and it would have been fine. And then last minute, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna add another about $6,000, just in case to protect myself on some of the removal situations. Just kind of again,
Sure.
being a little bit obsessed and going over the photos, and then
Mm-hmm.
last second I just added an extra $6,000 and they approved it. They said, yep, that's totally fine. And in fact, they told me, oh wow, your prices are really good. We so like I'm glad I heard it at the same time. It was a little bit, I was like, oh, did I just underbid
You got
myself?
whenever you get the response from your customer, you got the job. It's like the answer pretty quick. The right pricing, how good was it? I
Yeah.
could have charged a little bit more possibly, right? Does anyone have any questions for Sasha on his project or pricing? Anything that comes to mind? Because what's important to understand too is we sometimes hear, well, I just double my cost, or I'll go ahead and just triple my cost. There's other things that come into play with the art and science of pricing science, and it's basically understanding your market, understanding your customer. There's a lot of other elements that come into play. And until you learn these, and in the beginning, Sasha was pricing things a certain way, and then as he goes through doing more and more projects, that evolves into something even greater, better, and a better understanding. So in the beginning, pricing is really difficult. There's no doubt about it. You have to go through those pain points, but by learning from some of the other owners what they've done and how they go about it, even deposits, but we were taught 50% deposit was fine. In some cases, we have owners now that just require 60% deposit, and they're able to get that from their customers, and off they go, because cash flow is very, very important. But with regards to pricing, does anyone have any questions that come to mind they want to ask before we head out? No? Good? Everybody's pretty good?
Hey, Sasha, this is maybe more relevant to the brick and mortar shops that are on the call, but how often do you go back and evaluate your machine run times and production or purchasing costs that go into your bill of materials? For me, since I'm a outsourcer, I just mark up whatever my vendors provide. But for the guys who are going to run their own shops, the material costs change and fluctuate and all that stuff.
Yeah. So the way that's a very good question. So I don't go back and count how many hours my machines ran, but for instance, with my new channel vendor, it was okay. I sent it with my production guy. I'm like, okay, we're gonna run and let's do a block letter A, and it's gonna be 20 inches in height, and I just time it. Okay, it took about 2 minutes for it to pump out like one return for channel letters. So at that point, I go to Corebridge, and on the back end, we need to figure out how we're gonna price this. So it comes down to time and the cost of a material. So you plug it in, but then it was my responsibility to figure out how long does it take for my machine to pump out one channel letter return. And then once I run the quote, it actually will calculate, hey, your machine will be running for 4 hours. Like with HP 360, maybe HP 365 with a printer would be a little bit more like, let's say we're running a full roll of IJ35. It'll say, okay, it's gonna be 180 minutes, just nonstop you run in the machine. So to answer your question, do I go back and try to, I don't even know if Corebridge has that capability. They have a lot of reporting. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but you just brought up something that I've never even thought about, going back and seeing how many hours of my machine is
Sure.
run over
Yeah.
6 years. So
So-
thank you.
No, that's great. Yeah. So it sounds like you're setting up kind of like a production standard. You're using an A in this example. You're setting up an A. It takes you, however many minutes, and then you extrapolate that. It's going to be 6 letters, whatever, for this job, and therefore it's 6 times whatever your standard time is.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we
Yeah.
even with some SignWorld owners locally will just they know that I have the channel banner machine, and they'll reach out and be like, hey, can you just make me returns only? matte black, 3 inches. And we negotiate a price, vertical inch, $2.50 per vertical inch. Awesome. So at this point, I'm just running the machine. He comes, picks it up. He's happy. I'm happy. But again, thanks to Corebridge, I was able to figure out, I'm like, okay, obviously I cannot push 70% margins. I'm more like probably 40%, 40 to 50 if I'm lucky. But machine does the work. So I'm very happy with my healthy wholesale margins.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Well, Sasha, thank you so much today for coming on, sharing your projects with us and your pricing methodology. It's always interesting to see how each owner goes about it and what they do. Congratulations on all your success, continued success, and I know the multifamily housing industry is really. I agree wholeheartedly. It's a great customer base, and I don't know how do you have a certain percentage that your business is going through with family housing, multifamily housing? Is it 50%, 60%?
Yeah, first 4 years it was 50% was multifamily.
Yeah.
Once the interest rates went up, they kind of slowed down, so I had to crank up my ads and start. But it's picking up again, so we just landed our first one, the one I showed you earlier.
Good.
And then just kind of end if you can find my contact information in the Sign World portal. If you guys ever need advice, call me anytime, email me. I'm happy. I've done so many of them. I'm happy to share my knowledge and my experience. It looks intimidating, but trust me, just do 1 or 2 of them and you'll become an expert at this.
That's right. Very good.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sasha.
thank you again for being on. Continued success to the rest of all of you and your journey. And thank you so much for being here today. Sasha, take care. And the rest of you, we'll see you again real soon, okay?
Thanks, Sasha.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.